What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Chris and Tim podcast, episode number 18, little Friday night edition. Mr. Chris is doing some classes to go ahead and get himself a job, but no worries, better late than never, and here we are to talk some Washington OTAs. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing pretty well. How's things going?
Not too bad. We got Bob Esther in the chat. He says he's first. That's what's up. Chris then argues, saying he's first, and then Bob says, let Tim judge. I say Bob's first. There you go. Just kidding. But no. Thank you for being here, Bob. Thanks for everybody else that's going to be here, I'm sure. And let's go ahead and hop into some topics here today. All right. Before we actually get into Washington OTAs, Chris had some thoughts on Jordan Love being mistreated in the media. And I have heard similar things, that Jordan Love is definitely raw. He's not showing up yet. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's definitely not ready to replace Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. So what are you hearing, and what is your dispute with the media there, Chris?
Well, my dispute is this. How do you expect a rookie quarterback to come in to a situation that is dysfunctional? One, he has to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers don't want to mentor him. Aaron Rodgers really don't want him there. And then he's at practice and you say he's just not it. He's not doing this, he's not doing that. And then you try to compare him to Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Granted, that's his draft class. Granted, that's his first round. But those guys were literally asserted in immediately. He wasn't. He's in a bad situation. But yet the media will have you believe he's not ready, or he's just not a good quarterback. When you can, like, how can you say this guy isn't this and this and that when he's not in a right place? And that's the problem I have with it.
How can you interesting. So I understand what you're saying, but he's not in the right place because he's sitting behind an all-timer, right? So he doesn't really have a chance to start, or a legitimate chance to even compete for the starting job. But I will kind of fight back in saying that he's not in a good situation, because he does have Devontae Adams to throw to in practice. He's got a decent offensive line to protect him.
Well,
the Packers have a good defense on him. I don't know.
Is he going to him? Is he getting first team reps? No. I'm sure he's not.
Well, maybe. But also, Matt LaFleur also loves him a lot. So the head coach loves you. I mean, that goes a long way when you're talking about a guy that's like, all right, is he in a good spot or not? Like, Jay Gruden didn't like Haskins. So you could legitimately say Haskins was in a bad situation because the coaching staff didn't want you. Like, that's not good. But this coaching staff literally picked you out and picked you in the first round, even though they already had a championship contending team that was looking just to add a couple more pieces to try to get over the hump of the NFC Championship, and the coach still traded up to go get you anyway. So I would fight back a little bit to saying that, like, he's not in a great situation because he doesn't have a chance to start, but he's still in a pretty good situation considering the place likes him.
Okay, if they did that, then why are they talking trash about him?
Well, are they actually talking trash to the media, or is this just coming out of, like...
No. It's coming from them. And this goes to the media, and the media piles on. They saying, oh, he's not ready, or he's not... I mean, you can't determine if a guy is ready or not if you don't throw him in there to see. He can literally go out there and just light it up, and you be like, we didn't see this at practice. Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
You could see some stuff at practice, though. I wouldn't say that you're just completely blind. What also sucks is that he's never even played in a game, as far as he hasn't even played in a preseason game, because last year there was no preseason game. So we'll see what he does in preseason this year, and then we'll see if they're right as far as he's not showing up and not making good throws and not making the right reads and things like that. Or is he actually, like, is he a guy that's a gamer, that once he gets in the game, like, he's not really a practice guy, but once he gets in the game, now you see a new guy pop out of him, right? Instead of the opposite way. We'll see.
Jordan Love needs a coach like Ron. Because when you look at Ron at the practices, like the video, I don't know if you look at the videos, he's talking to the guys and listen to how he talks to them. And And it's not like one player above the other. That's the kind of environment he need to be in. Right now, it's Aaron Rodgers above everybody. Aaron Rodgers don't want me. The media talking trash about me. The coach is putting out this information and they're gonna pile on to it. They don't need to know nothing about me. If I'm the backup quarterback, why are you telling them anything about me? Why? Because now what you're doing is you bashing me and other team. I never ever got a chance to even show you anything, and then teams might not even want me. Because look, you see what I'm saying? So how can you do that to me? I'm basically out the league, and I didn't even show you what I can do yet. And I just think that's wrong. I would love Jordan Love.
Well, it's definitely not a good. Yeah, it's definitely not a good strategy to talk trash if you're looking to move on. But they could just be looking for people to not even be interested. But then again, like, or you know what? Here could be a strategy if you're talking down Jordan Love, and somebody wants to come and take Aaron Rodgers off you. You can have an argument of like, well, I don't even have a replacement for Aaron Rodgers, so you're gonna have to come at me with a pretty darn enticing trade, right?
What if somebody say, "Screw it, I want Love, forget Rodgers"?
Well, that's a whole different story. But I'm saying, like, if you're looking to get, like, let's say, all right, I'm coming from a Matt LaFleur who loves some Jordan Love, right? I love Jordan Love, but I want to move on from Aaron Rodgers, but I want to get as much as possible for Aaron Rodgers. Then I would talk down Jordan Love, as in I don't have a replacement for Aaron Rodgers, so I'm not desperate to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. So that means if you want Aaron Rodgers off my hands, you're going to have to come at me with multiple first-round picks and maybe a player to get me off this, because I don't necessarily – basically, you're acting like trading Aaron Rodgers is tanking my season, because now I don't have a quarterback. But you could still be behind the scenes in love with Jordan Love, but that would be the strategy to come away with it if you're looking to actually trade Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I see that, but for the first thing you said, how can if you love someone, you wouldn't put stuff out there bad about him, would you? You'll keep that in house. So if he truly loves him like he says, listen, we gonna see in preseason what he is, and if he lights it up in preseason, people won't be, excuse me, it's gonna be a team lined up for Aaron Rodgers, but somebody gonna say, move, give me him. Somebody would do that.
If they haven't traded Aaron Rodgers by preseason, then they're not going to trade Aaron Rodgers. This is going to happen within the next month and a half.
If he lights it up, well, they're going to be looking like, Aaron Rodgers, you may need to go.
Well, also, they should have made this move. Well, they had to wait until June 1st to make the move, because otherwise they would have lost even more money against the cap. But if you waited until after June 1st, then you would actually save money against the cap. I believe that's how it worked. So now they can actually trade him. But you would want to trade him sooner rather than later, so you get that cap money back so you can make moves in the offseason. I don't know if there's people that are interested there. They're interested in that.
If you don't think Love is it, trade Aaron Rodgers, get a first-round pick for next year. Trade him to like the Texans. Well, he got to agree. I don't know if he got a trade clause. But trade him to a team they'll possibly have a high draft pick next year. Get your first rounder. Move up.
Whoever Aaron Rodgers goes to, they're probably not having a high pick. I mean, I don't even know who he could go to and suck. I mean, whoever he goes to is going to win 9-10 games minimally.
We'll have 2 first rounders, so you can still take those 2 and move up in the draft.
Right. But whoever he goes to, like, I don't even know who he could go to and not win 9 games. Like, is there a single team? Maybe the Jets, but they're not going to want a quarterback anyway because they already have it. But, I mean, if he goes to the Patriots, to us, to the Raiders, the Broncos, any of those teams, they're winning 9-10 games with an Aaron Rodgers.
I just think Jordan Love, if I'm Jordan Love, I request to be traded.
Well,
I mean, like, because
we'll see.
It's a lose-lose for me. You telling me I'm not ready, and like it's a lose-lose for me. It's a lose-lose. Like you telling me you're diminishing me to other teams.
Right.
So it's just like if you do get rid of me, then where's my market? So it's like, trade me.
Right.
Now, if he came out right now and said trade me, now you got a problem with hands. Aaron Rodgers want to leave and him. Now we'll see just how much they don't like Love. Or
yeah.
I guarantee they'd be like, no. Like, so stop bashing them if you know you're not going to let them go.
Fair enough. Well, that's enough about Jordan Love. That was fun, though. Let's go ahead and hop into some Washington talk. All right, here we go. Some Washington football team news. And a lot of stuff coming out of OTAs and a lot of good stuff that we're hearing about OTAs. So let's start with a topic that I made a video on, so a lot of people know my thoughts on this already. But Brandon Scherff, in an interview, was asked directly about would he be interested in a long-term deal, and he said he would love a long-term deal here. And does that give you any hope that maybe we could work something out before July 15th, or do you think there still is this is basically a lost cause and he's going to play on the franchise tag?
I hope he gets it done for the simple fact that Brandon here, we potentially have a top 5 offensive line with Brandon staying. I want him to stick. It's just like Eric Flowers is here. You know, we finally got a good nucleus. Losing Brandon, that's a huge hit. That's a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Brandon, he's only 29 with Cosme and Brandon and Cosme on the same side. Well, you know how much I like Cosme and him on the same side. All you need to really do now is get that left side working with something, and then your O-line is at least top 5 in the league. I think the problem right now is left tackle.
That's the only problem. Yeah, well, I still have my questions about Cosme. Not that he can't. Not that I'm not down on Cosme necessarily, but I do think he needs to prove something to me before I actually hop on that train. I just didn't like some of the film I watched. But he is strong, really strong, and he is very, very quick. So, and working with Brandon Scherff is definitely not going to hurt his development at all. I would love to get a long-term deal as well, but the price is interesting. But at the same time, I'm actually okay with letting him walk. And it's because we actually are relatively deep in the O-line. Yeah, well, whoever we go to, yes, it's going to be a hit. But if Sadiq Charles can live up to what I think he could live up to, I think he could be a fantastic right guard and be a very minimal loss at the right guard spot. Sadiq Charles is extremely talented, extremely strong. He's actually a really good guy as far as size to move inside to guard, just like Brandon Scherff moved from left tackle to guard in the NFL. I can see that if we have if we had Eric Flowers, Chase Roullier, and Sadiq Charles in the middle of our O-line, I still think that's a potential top 10 center of your offensive line. You got to work on the tackles, but the center of your offensive line, I think, is one of the better ones in the league, even without Brandon. And then you save $17, $18, $19 million a year, not paying a right guard all that money, and you can use that for other positions of need in the future.
First off, they're not using that. This offseason showed me they're not doing nothing with that money. Nothing with it.
I think they got two really good players for a decent amount of money. And then they had to fix the quarterback position with somebody.
You didn't have to fix it. What's the fixed?
You had to get somebody with a good experience because Taylor Heinicke's been hurt every single game he's been in. So you had to get somebody with good experience. You had to get a veteran. Because you had to get a veteran to lead this young squad.
Why do we need to be led? My thing is this. We're not going anywhere to begin with. I feel like I believe we should make the playoffs because I just believe we should make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, why go get? My thing was this: why can't we see if Taylor Heinicke can be the guy? If he did get hurt,
I just said it because of his injuries. Like you don't know, like because he's literally gotten hurt every single time he started.
Well, you can't. You can say that, but we need to know if he's the guy or not.
And not to mention, he was literally out of the league up until December last year. And now you're putting like him as far as like, all right, now we're just going to him as our lead guy in training camp.
He is the guy. We're not. My thing is, You will be right if we're trying to win a championship. This year to me is a developmental season for me. I already believe
Right.
this year is a wash, playoffs or not. So I would like to know if Taylor Heinicke is the guy, and if he is, I found something. Now I can't see that at all because Fitzpatrick will be on the bench eventually, whenever that is. But now you just throwing Heinicke in there, and even if he does play well, I don't have a full body of work. I only got a couple of games again. I would
Yeah.
have probably would go sign Tyrod, have him be a backup, and have Taylor in there. And if
Well,
Taylor
Tyrod
did
would
get
still
hurt, then
be.
I'll go to Tyrod.
Well, Tyrod's still going to be somebody of what $9-10 million a year. Was he 12? He may have been even more expensive.
That's my point. Why am I paying a quarterback that much? For what?
Because you had to have somebody else that actually could be the number one guy instead of having a guy that was out of the league in December and injury prone. And I like Heinicke. What he did in the playoff game and against Carolina looked fantastic. Very accurate arm, a good arm, not super strong, but a good arm, great mobility, great awareness in the pocket, not turning over the ball a lot. He seems like a guy that could have somewhat of a future, but he's literally been hurt in every single start. And that's scary out of that guy. You couldn't go into camp as that is your number one guy and then tell this beast of a defense you're trying to win this year. Like, you can't tell that defense.
Tell them that they wanted Heinicke. They said they wanted Heinicke.
I'm sure they love Heinicke. I'm sure they love him as a guy, but there's no way that you could say that if him is your number one guy and Kyle Allen, I don't see the defense being okay with that.
He got hurt because he was trying to do anything and everything to win us the game. That's what I want my quarterback to do. We're not asking him to do what he did in the playoff game. We're not asking him to do that. We're asking him to just play quarterback and be good. And then when we get to the playoffs, then he can play like that.
Yeah.
I don't care if he plays like that in the playoffs. But during the regular season, we don't need you to be like that. Well, why do you think we got 3 running backs for?
Right. But another thing is that if he can't beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't see that he could even have been the guy then. If you can't beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick as a young, talented dude,
he never had a chance to begin with.
He came in 15 pounds heavier. He's looking good. We all of a sudden are now talking about Heinicke, but that was one of my next topics anyway. But Heinicke, as I was going to say, is that he's gained 15 pounds of muscle. He did need stitches because he took a helmet to the face. Apparently chipped a tooth as well, but he should be fine from that. But he's apparently looked good in camp. He has a shot, an outside shot. I would definitely give Ryan Fitzpatrick the edge. I think a significant edge. But there's an outside chance if he comes in and lights it up in preseason, he stays healthy all preseason, stays healthy all training camp, there's an outside chance. Because a $10 million quarterback is not somebody that you can't put on the bench. It's an expensive backup, but it's not like outrageously expensive.
I don't think he has a shot. The way Ron's talking, Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starting quarterback, and it's basically nothing Heinicke can do about it. That's the way it looks.
Slush is here. What's up, man?
Even if he does ball out, they're not going to start Heinicke. They're going to start Fitzpatrick. That's what they're going to do. I don't think Heinicke never had a chance to begin with.
Asan says starting left tackle will be Charles Leno. Starting left guard will be Eric Flowers. Chase Roullier at center. Brandon Scherff at right guard. And right tackle Sam Cosmi. Which I just find it sad for Cornelius Lucas' sake. Because he had such a great year last year. We're talking about Heinicke having a great couple of games. Lucas played really, really good on the left side of that line. And to bring in a guy that's only making $5 million and then putting Lucas on the bench and a second-round pick, who I think is kind of raw, I just feel like that sucks for Cornelius Lucas. I think that he should have the inside track right now to be the starter, and Charles Leno should be on the outside looking in. Not saying that Charles Leno can't win or earn the starting job, but I think that Lucas should have the inside track because of what he was able to do last year. What do you think?
I mean, if he made the Pro Bowl and Lucas didn't, obviously I'm a lean towards the Pro Bowler. But, I mean, there's going to be a competition there for left tackle. I think right tackle solidified. Cosmi's playing regardless. He's starting regardless, as he should. But that left tackle spot, let him battle it. Let him battle it. And if one of them get injured, okay, he starts. To me, it shouldn't be no big deal.
I don't know. What up, Jay Divine? Says, wish they gave Heinicke a chance. Doug Flutie status? I guess he meant. I'm not sure the reference. I know who Doug Flutie is, but I don't remember what happened to him. Lucas is nice. Maybe they will start him over Cosme for 1 year. Maybe Lucas gets the start over the rookie Sam Cosme, and then Sam Cosme may find his way on the field later. I don't know. I just would like to see. I don't think that the Cornelius Lucas should automatically be considered a backup. I think he should have a legit chance to start.
Legit. Yeah.
And if what's his name, and if Charles Leno ends up winning the job, fine. But I think that Lucas should have the inside track, but we'll see. Doesn't seem to be the case. All right, so we talked about Heinicke. We talked about Brandon. Another guy that's showing up in training camp, and apparently a lot of people are having googly eyes over this dude. John Bates is apparently looking really, really strong. Rookie tight end, 4th-round pick. Catching balls over Kendall Fuller, contested balls. Was Tim dead wrong on this one? And is John Bates actually going to be a legit number 2 tight end for this football team?
I don't know. He has a chance, sadly, due to the simple fact that all our other offensive pieces that we have is going to free him up, especially him being a tight end too. I think part of the reason why they drafted Bates and Samus is because I don't think they want to pay Logan. I'm not saying they won't, but I think what they want to do is they want to probably like hurry up and develop these 2 guys so they ain't got to pay Logan.
Mm-hmm.
So if they ain't got to pay Logan, then it's like, okay, that'll be something better. But I like Logan. But John Bates, he'd be a red zone target. I think he should, just like that guy that was with the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
We should use him like him.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but the big boy that looked like an offensive lineman. Yeah, the tackle. But quickly on Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas does have a special spot in my heart after that Pittsburgh game. He played his heart out. I mean, I think he had the play of the game that nobody ever talks about, which was saving that forced fumble from T.J. Watt, where T.J. Watt was looking to pick it up and run it into the end zone, and Logan Thomas just took it right from out of his nose and to save that, because that would have been a game-killing turnover. So I love Logan Thomas as well. I think he has great heart, and he shows up statistically as well, and he's a great leader for this team. So and a smart dude. I mean, he went to Virginia Tech as a legitimate quarterback, Heisman Trophy candidate, and so he's clearly an intelligent individual as well. So I like that too. And if he stays, that'd be awesome. I don't want to pay him a ton of money, but if he stays for longer term, I think that'd be awesome. But John Bates, after I found a legitimate comp in the league that had a good career. Not a great career, but a good career. A really good career, I'd say.
Rudolph's a beast.
Right. Well, if you look at him statistically, he's got a good amount of touchdowns. I think his most was in a year was like 9 or something like that. But he never had a 1,000-yard season. Like, he wasn't necessarily a guy that lit up the stat sheet, but he had some really good years. And if he could turn into a Kyle Rudolph, that is actually a fantastic tight end too. That's a really, really good tight end too. Yeah, well, I agree. That is good enough to be a tight end 1. I agree that's a good enough. But I'm saying if he's that and we have him at tight end 2, that's a great tight end 2. Like, that's probably that's one of the best tight end 2s in the league, if not the best.
As far as right now, he's a bust to me until I watch him in the preseason.
Right.
So preseason is going to show me a lot about him. I don't care about force.
And full disclosure, I'm sure most of you know, I was brutal on this pick. I was very, very rude on this pick. I was very down on it immediately. I looked into it more and hated it even more. But it wasn't until Kyle Rudolph where I could take a deep breath and say, okay, we didn't automatically draft a guy that sucks. I could take a step back on that. He's not going to be, and I think another part of my frustration is people were comparing him to like George Kittle, Travis Kelce, like people like that, where I'm just like, no, That's not what he is. That's not what he is. Okay, he's not a guy that's going to destroy you with his speed and great routes, blah, blah, blah. He's a guy that's going to be bigger than you and great hands and go up and go get it. That's the kind of guy he's going to be. As you said, a red zone target.
Third down guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like that sure-handed individual that's going to beat zones and that's going to, he's going to be covered, but he's going to be a guy that's a safety blanket for whoever the quarterback's going to be, that he's going to throw it up and feel comfortable that he's going to come down with it. But that's just my thoughts on that. Bruh, the comparison was Jeremy Sprinkle on air.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
If he's anything like Jeremy Sprinkle, we need to cut him down.
Well, you know what? If Jeremy Sprinkle's problem is that he couldn't catch. So I don't think that he's going to be the Jeremy Sprinkle problem where he can't catch. This guy seems to be able to have great hands. So and good, or really solid hands, and he's going to be a good, sure-handed player, which Jeremy Sprinkle wasn't. Because Jeremy Sprinkle, I mean, and he's got to be a better run blocker than Jeremy Sprinkle. He's got to be better on every front than Jeremy Sprinkle, to be honest. He's got to be.
The thing I like about it is they're all so freaking big.
Sam is
6'6". Bates is
6'5" or so, whatever.
I don't know how big I don't know how big Logan is.
I think he's 6'4".
Yeah, so there's some big guys.
That, but I think Logan Thomas is 6'4".
Plus we got Ricky Seals-Jones, but we'll see. If John Bates lights it up this year, hey, I can't say nothing. But I don't think he will.
Wow.
But, I mean,
Logan Thomas is 6'6".
There you go.
78 inches. He's 6'6". Good gosh.
We got everything.
Starting D tackle is Chase
The offense
Uriah.
is not the problem. I know that. We have no holes on offense whatsoever.
Starting center, Deron Payne. He wants to. He wants to switch. I don't know why Celeste is saying this. I feel like they want to switch. Them. That's funny.
If
good Lord, tight ends are monsters. Yeah,
O-line, that'd be crazy.
For sure. No,
that quarterback could have so much.
Oh God. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna say this. I was wrong to be so harsh. I maybe end up right where it may end up being a bust. But I do think that my rhetoric was a little too strong for this one, and I apologize. I shouldn't have been so harsh because I was pretty brutal on that pick. I was very, very down. That was the only pick I was like that. Every other pick I was okay with, or like I would have preferred somebody else, but I'm like, whatever, I can see it. This one I was saying I hated the pick from the get-go, and I might be wrong on that. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, all right. So we talked about Heinicke, Bates. Number 5 is, speaking of tight ends, let's stay on the tight end train. Do we need, and should we be interested in, a Zack Ertz to Washington if he gets released from Philadelphia?
Yeah. Perfect tight end 2 to Logan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Late in it, well, not necessarily late in his career. He only like 31. He still got about 3 more years. But you got endless weapons around him. You can protect him. You got other tight ends that can come in and spell for him so you can keep him fresh. If you can keep Zack Ertz fresh, he can give you anywhere from 700 to 800 yards receiving, 5 to 8 touchdowns. Solid. Yeah, that's a Pro Bowl year. I go get him. One, he can help out Sammons and that other guy, Bates. He can even help out Logan. I don't think Logan needs help at this point, but he can probably give Logan some help. It only can help. It only can help.
I actually am going to say no. I do not want Zack Ertz. Partly because of what you said earlier, is because we're trying to see if these young guys can step up and be replacements for Logan Thomas or future guys. So that's going to hurt the development of those guys because those guys aren't going to see the field nearly as much. Number 2, I don't want to spend the money on him. I don't know how much he would end up costing, but I think he would cost a little bit too much for my dollar. I would rather not spend that much money on a tight end. He's injury prone. I know you were talking about protecting him, but he seems to get hurt in 2 games or something like that. Like, he is very, very injury prone the last 3 or 4 years of his career. And I don't really want to deal with that. And we've been better about bringing in guys that don't have those injury concerns.
If you're going to say that about that position, why don't you say that about the quarterback position?
Because we had a guy that was already shown that he could be a number 1 tight end for a full season. Logan Thomas.
Fine. Okay. Well, so you ride along with me. Just let the young guys play.
I mean, we have a guy that can play the number one tight end spot. Right? And John Bates could turn into a potential number one tight end if he could turn into Kyle Rudolph.
So play the young guy. If that's what you're telling me, I have no problem with that at all.
Well, Logan Thomas should get the start, but I would like to see John Bates and Sammis Reyes come in as the tight end 2 and tight end 3 in 3 tight end sets on goal line sets. I would like to see those guys get those kind of experience, but if you bring in Zach Ertz, now John Bates is seeing the field 3 times a game, 6 times a game. I mean, he's barely going to see the field. He's literally only going to see the field on goal line plays where you bring in a third tight end. That's like literally the only time you're going to see him.
I agree.
So if you bring, I don't really, and as you said, it's kind of a development year. I agree with that. I think we could win 10 games and potentially make the playoffs just because our division is a division that could fall apart. I think that Dallas and Giants have gotten better, but they could be teams that don't show up because Daniel Jones could end up sucking it up again, as he's done the last couple of years, turnover city. And then Dallas's defense, you have no clue what they're going to end up looking like, and they could blow up. So all of a sudden, we could turn into the default winner because one of those two or both of those two teams end up failing. But at the same time, I don't see us as a Super Bowl champion team without a legitimate quarterback, and a couple of other problems we have. But
quarterback, that's the problem.
Quarterback is the number one problem and the major problem. If you plopped Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson on this team, we're Super Bowl contenders, easy. So I'm not saying our other holes are such a big problem that we can't live with those if we fix the quarterback spot.
Like 2 free safety.
Right.
And linebacker.
Linebacker, yeah, for sure. And then, St. Juice could turn into that. Then we also have a rotational problem with our DNs. We'll see what the DNs can be in. What's up?
I like James Smith-Williams. I'm sorry. I think James Smith-Williams can get you 5 to 6 sacks this year. I like him. I don't care what nobody say. I like James Smith-Williams. I think he's better than Shaka, whatever his name is.
Shaka Tony.
And Williams.
William Bradley King.
I think he's better than both those guys.
I did hear William Bradley King's having a pretty good year, though, as well. Or not year, sorry, pretty good OTAs as well. I heard that he's looking pretty solid. So hopefully he could turn it into something. He's a little undersized, but I think that he could be. I wanted him in the 7th round, so I'm glad that we ended up getting him because I think he does have some talent. But we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, I'm just not. Just coming back to the main thing is I'm not big on Zach Ertz to Washington. If we ended up with him, I'm not going to sit here and trash the pickup. I think he could help. But I just don't think going down that road is interesting to me. I'd rather just stick with what we have, and I would rather sign some other positions than me. I would rather sign a KJ Wright. I would rather sign. I don't know if you wanted to go after I don't know.
I want Richard Sherman bad.
Yeah, Richard Sherman could be interesting. Then Kendall Fuller could maybe move to that free safety position to fight it out with Bobby McCain because now you have St. Juice, William Jackson, and Richard Sherman could be interesting.
There for both for St. and Goat. That's what I want him there for.
Helps develop St. Goat. Yeah, because I think St. Goat could turn into Josh Norman of 2015. You keep shaking your head. Josh Norman was legit in 2015.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but my thing is his potential his ceiling is Richard Sherman. That's his
Josh
ceiling.
Norman was basically Richard Sherman in 2015.
No.
In 2015, he was number 11 player in the league according to everybody. He was the number 11 player.
That's fine, but he wasn't Sherman.
Sherman is obviously, the height of Sherman, because the height of Sherman, Super Bowl champion, fantastic player. But, Josh Norman was, 2015 Josh Norman was just below the height of Richard Sherman.
Norman was zone corner. Richard Sherman can do everything.
That's what Josh Norman ended up turning into, because once he got here, he was clearly not Revis Island or anything like that. But 2015 Josh Norman was top tier corner.
That's cool, but
and if Benjamin St. Juice turns into every single year of his career is 2015 Josh Norman, that is a fantastic corner.
I would say Richard Sherman.
Okay, whatever. He could be Richard Sherman. But I like to compare him to Josh Norman because that's also Ron Rivera's defense. So it's
That's
basically that's why I'm more interested in comparing him to Josh Norman because even if St. Juice is not Richard Sherman level, he could look that good
in Josh Norman.
You can say his floor is Josh Norman. No, his floor is not 2015 Josh Norman. 2015 Josh Norman was fantastic. His floor is obviously lower than that. But if he turns into 2015 Josh Norman every single year, that's one hell of a career, if not Hall of Fame career.
You said what?
If not Hall of Fame career.
That's fine. But he's just more athletic. He's just more gifted.
Definitely more quick. Definitely better quickness. I agree with that. But the length is very similar, and we'll see. You talking about Carolina Panthers? Yeah, 2015 Josh Norman when they went to the Super Bowl.
At a press corner.
Asan Moore says Golden Tate. Is Golden Tate a free agent?
I think so.
Oh wait, Celeste likes to make things up. Hold on, I gotta look this up. You got me to look it up, but I don't know if I necessarily believe you, Celeste. He said that we just signed Golden Tate.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's fake news.
To be real with you, I would have been more happy with that than freaking Adam Humphries.
I don't want another receiver. I think our receiving room is already too deep.
No, I'm not saying sign another. I'm saying they should have signed Golden Tate. Because I know he gets open. He makes tough catches. He stays healthy.
Not stays healthy. I don't know about that. I think he's had injuries the last couple of seasons. But I don't want Golden Tate. Not that I don't think he's a good receiver, but he's aging, and we already have too many dang receivers. We really do.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying, like, if you would have had a choice, okay, should we sign Golden Tate or Adam Humphries? I'm going with Golden Tate.
Depending on what price Golden Tate's at. But, I mean, right now, Adam Humphries is a guy that you could cut him and basically save everything you paid him. So I like the Adam Humphries, and I like that Adam Humphries has some rapport with Ryan Fitzpatrick. So there's something there that could help in that. But because we drafted Dax Milne, I don't even want Adam Humphries to make the team. I want Dax Milne to be the guy because he's going to be even cheaper. We have him under contract long term, so I'd like to get him more experience here. And I would like him to be a guy because Dax Milne's also a sneaky guy that could be an outside receiver. You could put him everywhere. But that's neither here nor not there. I got to do it every stream.
Show me in preseason because his OTAs look disgusting to me.
Dax Milne?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Dax Milne. So I don't know. I'm assuming no news is basically bad news because
Wes Walker out there, a big version of Wes Walker. That's what he looked like.
Well, that's fantastic. So I hope he is. All right, so we got two more topics here from OTAs. All right. And this one's interesting because we talk about a need for linebacker quite often. And this guy apparently is making a lot of noise to potentially earn maybe a starting spot or at least a very big contributing role at the linebacker position. Khaleke Hudson, our second-year player. I believe he was a rookie last year. I think we drafted him last season, right? Out of Michigan. But he's either second or third year. I think he's second year. But I said I thought he was a little bit too small to play linebacker, but I don't know if he gained a little weight because he came into the league at 224, around 5'11". So I would like to see him maybe reach are you there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you froze on me. Jeez. Not literally froze. The screen didn't froze, but you literally just stopped moving completely. Yeah. But anyway, no. But the that made me lose my train of thought. No, but I thought he was a little small coming into the league. But maybe he gained a little weight. So maybe if he can get up to like 240 pounds and still keep some of that speed because he was around a 4.5 speed, he could be an awesome backside linebacker, weak side linebacker. I would actually really be interested to see if Khaleke Hudson can't earn that. And then you have Jamin Davis in the middle and Cole Holcomb at strong side. That would be big. So give me your thoughts on Khaleke.
Khaleke Hudson's a beast. He played very, very well last season when he got his snaps and filling in for Pierre Lewis. I want to start. I don't want Bostic in a game. But my thing is this. Like I say, play the young guys. See what they have. What if Khalil Hudson wind up being a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker? Throw him out there. Throw the young guys out there. Let them play together. Let them sink or let them swim.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you did last year with the rookies, and all of them they sunk a little bit and then they swam.
Mm-hmm.
Like, put Khalil out there, see what he has, and then let's say he is it. Now you got a solid linebacking core all the way around. That's the position you ain't gotta worry about no more. I think you should just bring in Bostic on third downs only. That's the only time I want to see Bostic on third down.
I only want to see Bostic on first down because he can help against the run. But I don't want to see him on third. Don't put him in on third because he can't cover a soul.
Put him in on blitz pack. I'm talking about like third and ones.
Third and ones?
Stuff like
okay.
that.
Where he's
you got like
mainly run blitzing.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So I bring him in to run blitz and all that. But outside of that, he made a one-handed interception in the middle of the field. Throw him out there.
That tip pass from Duran against the Steelers you talking about?
I don't know if Duran tipped it, but I just seen him catch it with one hand.
If it was the one against the Steelers, Duran tipped it. That was awesome. But
no, I'm talking about in the OTA.
OTA. Okay.
Yeah, he got one in the OTAs and like was behind him and he just went back. That is ball skills. You put a guy like that out there.
I can't take Celeste seriously. I don't know what it was. But anyway. All right. Last topic from OTAs. And it's going to be a topic that a lot of Skins fans don't like. Okay? A lot of Skins fans are not going to be happy about this topic. Because we already just talked about how deep the wide receiving core is. Does Steven Sims still have an outside chance of making this team? He apparently is looking good in OTAs. Great quickness, great route running. We know his problems with drops. But you know who he reminds me of? Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, a guy with great quickness, great route running, looks like all the talent in the world. But they have the case of the drops. But do both of these guys end up making their respective teams because their raw talent is just too good to pass up in a slot receiver role? Does Steve Sims still have an outside chance?
No. He can't run routes. Deontay Johnson can run routes. He's most of a speedster. His problem is dropping. Steven Sims don't have that kind of talent.
Steven Sims can run routes. Steven Sims has great quickness and he can run routes. Seriously.
He cannot run routes. Terry, Diami, Curtis, Kelvin. And he fighting with Humphreys, Mill,
Cam
and
Sims.
What's the other guy? Cam Sims to me is already on a roster.
Oh, I didn't hear your 5. Give me your 5 again.
I got Terry, Diami, Curtis, Kelvo, Cam, and then him, Humphreys, and Gandy Golden, all of them fighting for the 6th spot.
As I said, we're so deep at the wide receiver spot. We're so deep. We may have to bring in 7.
They're going to throw one at the practice squad. He probably make the practice squad. I'm fine with that. You know what? I will put him on the roster. You're a kick returner. You're not receiving no punt. The stuff you did last year. You're a kick returner. That's the only thing you're here for. Is to return kicks.
Oh, another guy that could return kicks to be on the team is DeAndre Carter they're talking about.
Oh, he's getting cut. He's getting cut. Throw Steven Sims back there.
Well, if Steven Sims gets cut, if Steven Sims gets cut, DeAndre Carter gets cut, who's our punt returner?
Danny, whatever that guy name.
Danny Johnson?
He did pretty good last year.
Danny Johnson's a fine story. He's an undrafted free agent. Where'd he go? I think he went to where'd he end up going? I can't remember now. Liberty, I think, actually. I think he went to Liberty, and then he had a fantastic year. I think that's where he went. But I don't think that's a great kick or punt returner. I think he's okay, but I don't think that's necessarily... I don't think he's going to take many to the house, if any.
I'll throw Steven Sims back there, kick returner. That's the only reason why he's gonna be here. If you make the team, it's gonna be for special teams.
Now, I'm not necessarily thrilled with the idea of Steven Sims, but I'm not writing him off because the dude does have some talent. He just needs to freaking catch the ball. He's got some good talent, though, as a slot receiver. But I don't know. We have too many slot receivers now. It's crazy. I'm loving the Saints rookie in OTA, except Ian Book is straight garbage.
You drafted him.
Chris's favorite. Do you like Peyton Turner? You gotta let me know. You gotta let me know if Peyton Turner is lighting it up. Anyway, all right. Well, that was Washington football team OTAs talk. That was fun. Oh, real quick, Watt Holmes said this. I wanted to wait until after. I hope Watt Holmes is still here. But Watt Holmes is talking about, should they go after and go get Julio, then Aaron Rodgers? Will they win multiple Super Bowls with A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry?
No.
No.
They're in the AFC. They don't have enough.
With Aaron Rodgers, Julio, and A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry?
They don't have enough.
I don't know about that.
Defensively, you don't have nothing at all whatsoever to speak of.
Didn't they get Caleb Farley?
Offensively, I think they'll put up points.
Didn't they get Caleb Farley?
Yeah, but that's it.
And they got Bud Dupree in the free agency.
He's the only one on the D-line. You're just going to double team him.
I don't remember who their other D-line, their other defensive end is.
And they're horrible. They have no linebackers and they have no other corners. And their safeties are terrible. So
they don't have Jayon Brown anymore. I'd have to think about it.
They'll definitely be able to put up points. But it'll just be the same thing as like he was in Green Bay. Like, you probably got more weapons, so you'll be able to score more points. But their Green Bay defense actually got better, but I don't know. I think, nah. Why would Aaron Rodgers want to go there? I can stay at Green Bay. I got a better defense. I got Devontae. I can tell Julio come here.
Right.
So then I got Aaron Jones, who's terrible, by the way.
Aaron Jones is not terrible. He had a terrible game. He had a terrible game.
He was terrible.
He had a terrible game. He's actually really, really good. He's actually really good.
In the regular season, I think that big boy Dylan, give him some carries.
A.J. Dillon?
Yeah, give him a little load.
Because Aaron Jones is actually legit. He's a great running back, actually.
In the regular season.
And that's fine. And he had a bad playoff game. There's no doubt about it. He got benched because he had 2 fumbles, and it was horrible. But the dude's actually super talented. Yeah, he did. He just said Jones is terrible. That's what he said.
I'm not going to knock somebody say that they're not talented.
Aaron Jones
talented,
is really good.
But you stink it up like that in the playoffs, I got a problem with you.
Yeah, that was bad. He did suck it up. There's no doubt about it. In that playoff game, he was abysmal. And that sucks for Green Bay. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears because we are in the midst of the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs. And the first round is coming to an end. There's a couple of series still left. Actually, there might only be one more series left. There is. There's only one more series left remaining, and that game is tonight. And let's go ahead and start there then. Do you think the Mavs close out the Clippers tonight, or do you think the Clips push it to Game 7, the only one in the first round, if this were to happen?
I think they can push it to a Game 7.
Do I think the Clippers can push it to the Game 7, or do you think the Mavs close it out at home?
No, I'm saying, are you asking me that?
Correct.
Clippers push. Because I think now that the Lakers are out, you have no excuse. Mm-hmm. You have to make it to the finals. You are the best team, and you do have the best players. You lose this one, that team is gone next year. Mm-hmm. Kawhi won't be there. Paul George won't be there. That team is gone. Mm-hmm. So I think they get this one tonight. They push it to Game 7. You cannot. It's literally tailor-made for you to get to the final. You'll lose to the Nets, but at least you got there. But it's tailor-made for you to get to the finals. You have to make it happen. It's as simple as that. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm picking the Clippers tonight.
I don't think they're going to make it to the finals, even if they win this series. And Luka looks like a man possessed. I mean, he's averaging nearly 35 points a game or something crazy like that. I mean, the dude is awesome. He had one game where he scored 19. Every other game has been over 30, including 2 40-pointers. But do I think that the Mavs close it out tonight? I have to think no. Because Kawhi Leonard cannot lose in the first round and be considered of any sort of great. He's not in people's top 10 right now or anything like that, but he cannot lose this series in the first round. It's just not acceptable. Paul George needs to step up, and there's not been this will be the only one that goes to Game 7. I think there has to be one that goes to a Game 7. I did not pick this to be a Game 7 ahead of time. I picked the Clippers, I think, in 5 or 6 or something like that. I think I picked them in 6. But I got to imagine they push it to Game 7. But Game 7 is a toss-up. I don't know who is going to be the team to end up out of this because the Mavs are no joke. The Mavs are a really good basketball team. Tim Hardaway Jr., you got Kristaps Porzingis. Like, this team is actually really, really good. Boban, the big boy Boban. So I'm interested in it, but I'm going to pick the Clips tonight. I think the Clips have to push it to Game 7, and that is my prediction. Clips push it to Game 7. All right, let's go ahead and go down. Which series do you want to go to next? Pandemic George. Yeah, I'm still here. Internet crappy when I'm at. And yeah, he probably right about the defenders of the Titans. Watt agrees with the lack of defense coming from the Titans. But anyway, what series did you want to go to next?
But you want to talk about the new ones or the old ones?
The new ones. We're going to go over all the old ones. All the first round series.
Sixers and Hawks.
Sixers and... Okay, well, sorry. Sixers and Wizards, right?
Hawks.
No. I said we're going to go over the first round.
Oh, well, obviously. I mean, we can do the Sixers and Wizards then.
Yeah, okay. Sixers take care of business against the Wizards 4-1. They did end up losing Game 4 because Joel Embiid went down early in that game. My opinion on this series is Wizards suck. And the Russell Westbrook has to be one of the most inefficient stars to ever exist. He is so inefficient. He can't shoot. His three-point looks horrible. He's like bad off the backboards, air balls. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And even when he goes to the basket, he's not great. Like, he's got to be one of the most inefficient basketball players I've ever seen. And it's so frustrating to watch because he's so energetic. He does so much for a team. But good gosh, he looks terrible while doing it.
I mean, like I say, the thing about the Wizards is, no, I'm going to get my takeaways of these series, too, since we're doing this makes sense.
Yeah.
My takeaway for the Wizards is trade Russell Westbrook. Russ, you got to come off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that, you look at that play style, if he came off the bench and did that, no one could stop him. No one can stop him now, starting, but his style is made to come off the bench. You need that particular player's style off the bench. Not a starting point guard, because it's you have to be efficient. Russell Westbrook's problem, he's never enhanced his game since he came into the league. Can't shoot 3-point shots. Had a good mid-range, I don't know where it went. Usually good at posting up. Rarely does that. He has no ball handling skills. To me, like I said, he's the worst ball handling point guard I've ever seen in my life. The Wizards they got Bradley Beal. If you don't want to trade Russell Westbrook, this is what I say. Move Russell Westbrook to the bench. Go sign Zach LaVine in the offseason. Now my backcourt is Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine. Mm-hmm. Zach LaVine, 30-plus point per game score. Bradley Beal, 30-plus. Zach LaVine knows how to pass. Zach LaVine, athletic. Mm-hmm. Him and Russell Westbrook, they're both stupid athletic. That's not a drop ball on the bench. On the bench, guess who you have? Smith. He will be the point guard because he knows what he's doing. Russell Westbrook will be the 2 guard because he's going to score. So now you got scoring off the bench. Now you got.
But who's your point guard there?
Huh?
Who's the point guard if you have Zach LaVine and
Zach LaVine?
Is Zach LaVine a point guard?
Yeah.
He averages that many and he's a point guard? Good grief.
Yeah.
I thought he was a 2 guard for some reason.
Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, and I think y'all just need a big man.
We need a big man. Even if we kept Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, the thing we're missing is a legitimate big man.
Zack.
Like, if we somehow were able to get even what's his name? Vucevic that the Bulls got would be interesting. I like him. If we were able to get our hands somehow on, I don't think we can. I think he signed an extension. Giannis would be really interesting on this team. Anyway, but if we got a big man that had star potential like that even if we kept Westbrook in the starting lineup, I think that this team, not necessarily a finals contender, but could win a couple of playoff series at that point. That's the big thing we're missing.
Finals, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, and a center that can score, that can shoot and play defense, and then you get a defensive guy that's strictly in there for rebounding and to play defense.
What about what is the, AD looking like? Is AD going to be a free agent?
No.
Darn it. Because AD on this team would be dangerous. If we got him and Zach LaVine somehow.
AD's going to go back to Chicago.
Yeah.
You see, what's that boy? Spoil you said, Karl Anthony Towns. Did they get Karl Anthony Towns in there?
That's an interesting one.
But you gotta get rid of Russ. You don't gotta get rid of Russ, but you gotta push. I say Russ, you a bench player. If you don't like it, we can move you out of here, get draft capital, and give me a shooter. I'd probably trade Russ to Orlando. Dang, they already traded him. I'd probably trade Russ. Hey, I'll see if I can trade Russ to the Nuggets for Aaron Gordon. Now I got Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, Aaron Gordon, and who was the center I said? Karl Anthony Towns. That's a big starting lineup.
Karl Anthony Towns would be interesting, very interesting. I hate Kentucky guys, but whatever. They would be good. He is good.
Or you guys can probably get D'Angelo Russell.
Well, he's not a big man.
No, I'm saying you do need a point. I don't think Russell Westbrook should start. As long as he's your starting point guard. I mean, yeah. I don't care who you put. Yeah, he just unless he changes ways, I don't see it.
Yep. But anyway, let's switch over to the 76ers. The 76ers, I actually do really like the 76ers, and this is why. Of course, Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid are really, really good. But one of my favorite, depth guys / what am I calling role players? One of my favorite role players in the league is Seth Curry. I love that dude, whether he comes off the bench or if he's your starting point guard / shooting guard. That guy shows up in big moments, and he's got a great shot like his brother. He's obviously not as good as his brother, but he's got a great shot. He can shoot from anywhere on the court, off the dribble, spot up, doesn't matter. And I think he is a kind of guy that, with Joel Embiid playing as well as he's been playing this year, Tobias Harris has been playing really, really efficient as well, especially in this series. And then you have Seth Curry, and who's their other guy? I can't remember off the top of my head. Ben Simmons, of course. Ben Simmons, the point guard. He's a great defender, and he could pass as well. He can't shoot to save his life, but good defender and passer. I can't believe he's 6'10", 6'11". I did not know that. For some reason, I thought he was 6'7", 6'8". But nonetheless, great length as a point guard. This is a team that has a chance to push it to 7 games against the Nets. Do I think they could beat the Nets? Not really. I think the Nets are just too overpowered because, you already have the big three. Then you have freaking Blake Griffin as your big man inside. It's ridiculous. And I think they have somebody else, don't they? Oh, and DeAndre Jordan, don't they have? DeAndre Jordan? That's just stupid. So I don't think they could beat the Nets, but I think they're a team that actually has a chance to push it to 7, the only one in the East, in my opinion. And I actually would be very interested to see a coin flip in a Game 7 against the Sixers and the Nets. What do you think about the Sixers?
Bro, you would be right. Possibly. They would lose to the Nets because Ben Simmons can't shoot worth a lick. But they're not making it out the second round because Joel Embiid tore his meniscus. And if he tries to play on that, he's crazy. He might as well just sit out. They're dead. Sixers are dead. They're done. Joel
Embiid tore his meniscus? I didn't know. I thought it was just knee soreness.
No. He tore his meniscus. But they're trying to downplay it, say he's partially torn. A torn meniscus is a torn meniscus. You're not playing on that. You play on it further. That's further knee damage, and that can damage and create more damage for the rest of your career. If he plays, he's not going to be good. Do they lose to the Hawks? I don't know. I'm not gonna do Charles Barkley. I'm gonna say my guarantee for later until I see exactly how it's going. But the thing about that series will go 7.
That sucks.
I'm leaning towards the Hawks, but I'm not gonna make a prediction because y'all gonna try to hold me to it. So I'm not gonna make it one yet. But they're not making it. No, they is not.
That is a huge blow. That is a big blow. But all right, let's go ahead and move then to the Hawks-Knicks because we'll stick on this series. Hawks versus your boys, the Knicks. You followed the series much closer than I did. Tell me about the unfortunate. I picked the Knicks to win the series as well, so this is sad that they didn't. But I'm happy for Trae Young. I really do enjoy Trae Young. He's a great player. So tell me about the misfortunes of the Knicks.
The problem with the Knicks was Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and the rest of the players with low IQ. And RJ Barrett and Julius Randle also have low IQ. They kept trying to run an offense through Julius Randle rather than running to do the best player on the team, which is D Rose. That was the problem. D Rose, his first 4 games, he carried them. He carried them the best way he could. But his 4th game, he said he got hit in the knee or something like that. And in the last game, he didn't. He played the first 3 quarters kinda, but he was playing hurt the whole time, and everybody's seen it. But he just tried to at least push it. And it's just like Julius Randle's not a number 1 option. That's number 1. Mm-hmm. The guy's passing up open threes, open shots. He's trying to get through double teams. He's losing the ball. He's turning the ball. RJ Barrett missing. It was just they just didn't have a game plan. Mm-hmm. They benched Alfred Payton like they were supposed to do. They started D Rose, and the moment they started him, the only game they won was because of Rose. He came in there. He said Tom Thibodeau came in the locker room halftime, and he said, "We're going through D Rose. We're going through him." And when they did that, we won a game. And then we didn't win a game after that. If you look at the first game, we should have won it. D Rose tied the game with a clutch bucket, 105-105. Trae Young came down, hit the layup in the game. And Julius Randle played horrible. He shot 30% from 3, 30% from the field, and average had like 18 points and like 11 rebounds. That's pathetic. RJ Barrett shot horrible too. So in the Hawks, they just was clicking on all cylinders. Mm-hmm. They just was clicking on all cylinders. So yeah, the Hawks won it. Better luck.
I'm happy for Trae Young. I also like Kevin Huerter as their backup small forward. But this team is interesting. Clint Capella as their center. Bo Bogdanovic is obviously a great shooting guard, great shooter. I don't know if even without Joel Embiid, I still don't know if they have enough to beat the Sixers. I really don't.
They got enough.
I don't know because I think the Sixers are a really good basketball team, but without Joel Embiid, it does hurt. It does hurt. But we'll see. We'll see. But another team that just had their stars suck it up, and that was the Heat getting swept by the Bucks. Jimmy Butler was horrible. Like the shooting percentage was just tragic, really. It was just embarrassing, and the Bucks just run away with this. Do the Bucks have enough or have a chance to do anything against the Nets after sweeping the Heat? Do they have anything?
Oh, first of all, let's get to the Nets. Not the Nets, the Heat. I think the Heat was drained from last year. I think Jimmy was drained. Mm-hmm. From carrying them throughout the whole playoffs last year and then having to carry them against the Lakers. I think they was just drained, especially Jimmy. So I don't really count that against Jimmy because I just think he was drained. Because that's a lot to ask for him.
It sucks that they didn't have Victor Oladipo. If they had Victor Oladipo, it would have been an interesting series.
Yeah, and then the season was a quick turnaround, and it's just like, how do I prepare my body? So, and then he had knick-knack injuries throughout the year, so I don't really count that against Jimmy there.
Yeah.
But the Nets are just too good. I don't care about. This is what I'm gonna do if I'm the Nets. Giannis, you score 1,000. Nobody else is gonna do anything, and we gonna go down the other court and we just gonna score. That's what I would do because the thing is, 3 beats 2. Giannis gonna have all the 2 points in the world, but when you got Kevin Durant, when you got James Harden, I'm really not a fan of Kyrie Irving for other reasons. But when you got those guys hitting from three, getting to five, I mean, it's just gonna be over one. I think I have the Nets in 6. I have the Nets in 6.
So they could steal 2 games. I don't know. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
think they get 2 games.
Jeff Teague is an interesting point guard off the bench. Having him
Jeff
as
Teague
off the
plays
bench.
for the who he play for?
It says he's right here on the Bucks,
I
second
think he
string.
played for the Celtics.
He must have got traded to the Bucks because it says right here he's second string.
Well, Jeff Teague is horrible, so
we'll see.
Good luck.
Well, he's the backup point guard. I think him as a backup point guard is interesting because they have Drew Holiday.
He go backup.
We'll see. I agree, though. I don't think they have much of a chance. I think the Nets are just too good this year. They're just ridiculous. All right, some people are talking about the Trailblazers. Let's talk about them. The Nuggets versus Blazers series, and it didn't go 7, but this had to be one of my favorite series. And Lillard is just a man possessed. We were live on that game against that double overtime game, which was one of the most exciting games I've seen in a long time. That was fun. We had we had a 22-point lead for the Nuggets that was basically erased in 7 minutes of basketball. I mean, the Trailblazers just came roaring back. Nurkic got fouled out of that game, which sucked. But Lillard was just out of his mind. 55 points that game, and he was just out of his mind all series. And it's just unfortunate that they went against a really good basketball team in the Nuggets. And the Nuggets, I have winning the next series, whether they play the Mavs or the Clippers. No, sorry, they play the Lakers. I'm sorry, they're on that side. Jazz plays the other ones. But now they're playing the Suns. Yeah, sorry, the loser of that is the Lakers. So they'll play the Suns. And I still have them moving past the Suns, even though I think the Suns are a really good basketball team. But I really appreciate what the Portland Trailblazers were able to do. And it sucks that they couldn't win that game. And it sucks to see that Lillard passed it down the stretch in that double overtime. I guess he got tired, and he wanted C.J. McCollum to take the last shot. He already made 2 buzzer beaters to send it into overtime twice, and he couldn't do the third one. That was sad. But I really like the Nuggets. Do you think the Nuggets have any sort of chance without Jamal Murray?
I think they do. For the simple fact that Chris Paul is hurt. If Chris Paul wasn't hurt, they'd be out of here in 6. So, I mean, the fact that Chris Paul is hurt, they got a shot. But it's an evenly matched series. The teams are basically the same. When you look at the bigs, you got DeAndre Ayton. But the problem, Jokic is going to have his way. But DeAndre Ayton is going to have his way. And then who's the second best player in that series?
On either team? Devin Booker?
Devin Booker on both teams. Devin Booker. So it's like Booker going to have a monster series for the Suns.
I love Monte Morris, though, off the bench for the Nuggets. He puts in good quality minutes. And the 1-2 game with him and Jokic is really, really strong. And who else is on that team? I can't think right now. Because they didn't have Jamal Murray. Who's their other guy? Crap. Anyway, I don't know. I like the Nuggets to win this series, even against the Suns. But it's going to be tough because I think they would have had an easier chance against the Lakers because the Lakers just had no offense. Like, the offense of the Lakers was just abysmal all series long.
Oh, yeah.
Bless you.
Thanks.
But I don't know. Who do you think is going to win that series, Suns or Nuggets?
I don't. If Chris Paul actually plays healthy, I got Chris Paul in 6.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's not, I got Nuggets in 6.
Gotcha. I don't know. We'll see. Expert JK, are you going live for the Clippers game? Yes. The Clippers game should be starting relatively soon. It said 9 o'clock, but they usually don't start until like 9:15.
Yeah, it's like 9, 10, 15. What's that on TNT?
What's that?
That's on TNT?
I'm looking at it now. I'm signing in to pull it up. Definitely going live, though. Man, I got one more light in my room, and my camera just looks so much better because of it. If you ever have camera problems, just add more light.
No, go back up. I think you passed it.
I wasn't looking. Good call.
There it is. It's on ESPN. No.
You don't have ESPN?
No, I got Sling. Sling doesn't cover with ESPN.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
So I'm gonna have to watch it on my laptop.
True. Yeah, one of those weird websites.
Yeah, you better know it.
All right, the last series to talk about, because we kind of already touched on the Lakers Suns, is the Jazz versus Grizzlies. And Ja Morant kind of had a series that reminded me of Luka Doncic in his first playoff series, where Luka Doncic just looked great, but the Mavs just didn't have quite enough to beat. I think it was the Clippers as well last year, right? Mm-hmm. But Ja Morant looked fantastic in this series against the Jazz. But the Jazz are just too freaking good. I think the Jazz are a fantastic basketball team. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell's a beast. They have who's the big guy over there?
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, thank you. Rudy Gobert. And I like a kind of a role player guy in Joe Ingles. One of my favorite players in the league, just like Seth Curry, is Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is a guy that I'm glad he's coming off the bench. I don't know if I would necessarily want him as a starter because he kind of gives me a little bit of like J.R. Smith airhead vibes. But as far as a talent, the dude, I don't know if there's anybody quicker in the league. He has that first step quickness is through the roof good. And then he could shoot the three ball fantastic. So I love Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, and I think he's going to be the big difference maker, and that's why I have the Jazz going all the way to the finals before they end up running into the Nets and losing. But I think that team is deep. I think that team is talented, and I don't care who they play, the Mavs or the Clippers. I think they come out of that series a winner as long as they stay healthy.
Well, you got to see. I don't know who they're going to see. I hope they see the Clippers.
If they see the Clippers.
If they see the Clippers, they getting out of here in 6.
Ooh.
They out of here in 6.
Speaking of which, you basically were hinting at our brackets. Let me pull up how everybody is doing in the brackets. Chris did have a lead after the first couple of series, but he is falling. I'm making a little comeback. I was in last place. Now I'm still in last place, but I'm not as far behind. Basically, because I have picked every series wrong that I did not have going to the next round. So I picked the Sixers right, I picked the Nets right, and I picked Denver right, because those I got going to the next round. But Heat I got wrong, Lakers I got wrong, and Hawks I got wrong. I got all those 3 wrong. And I might even get the Clippers wrong if the Clippers can't come back and win in Game 7 against Dallas. So I'm going to get all 4 of the series that I did not pick moving on. But luckily for me, my final 4 are still intact. But right now, the current leader is the real DRG is the leader in the clubhouse. But he has a very interesting series. He has Milwaukee beating the Nets in 5 games. And has Milwaukee going all the way to the finals before Utah knocks them out. Huh?
Who has Milwaukee beating the Nets in 5 games?
DRG.
He lost.
He is currently in first place.
He lost.
Very interesting. But yeah, but everybody's pretty close. It's only a 400-point gap between everybody, so anything could happen. I'm sure there's going to be more points the deeper we go in to it. So it's still all up in the air, and everybody pretty much has a different finals, which is interesting. Yeah. Like, nobody has the same finals. People have the same winner. Like, a couple of people have the Nets winning it all, stuff like that. But a couple of people are already out because they had the Lakers winning it all. But we'll see how it continues. Who's Rybo have? Yeah, Rybo's interesting. He has the Nets versus Denver in the finals. So that could be a very interesting series. But anyway, So that was fun. And, all right, Chris, well, thank you for another great episode. And you're welcome to hang out and watch the game with us if you want. But if not, if you have stuff to do, that's all cool. All right, sounds good. I'm sure we'll see you in the chat later.
Right quick.
But cool. And we're going to go ahead and hop into the play-by-play and get started on that. But that was another great episode, number 18 for the Chris and Tim podcast. Thank you for everybody who was here hanging out with us. I think we had most people at 15. So that was awesome, even on a Friday night, which is not normal. We may do it again on next Friday. You think you're going to be out of class on next Friday?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you're just going to tell me what day you're off next week, and then we'll work it out then?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So bear with us. He has it's only a 2-week class, right?
Yeah. So hopefully by the end of next week, this gonna be over.
There you go. And then we'll be back on the normal Wednesday schedule after that. And then we shall go from there. Are you ending the stream? No, Celeste. We're going to go into the play-by-play. But I am ending this episode. And I started this recording. So I'm going to say my piece. And then we're going to go on to the play-by-play. So, and until next time, see ya!